Hello, welcome. My name is Orla, and in this channel I read short stories for children and adults who are interested. In this video, I'll be reading another story from Girls Who Slay Monsters, Daring Tales of Ireland's Forgotten Goddesses. And these are stories by Ellen Ryan, illustrated by Shona Shirley MacDonald. So, cuddle down, get cozy, and let's begin. This one is called Boann the Explorer. And this at Boann, fabulous goddess. Boann was a fabulous, full-figured river goddess who loved to travel through mortal and outer world lands, from enchanted forests on the Isle of Apples to the tall golden grasses of Nepal. Whenever Boann felt the urge to explore, she got a strange feeling in her body. It started as a shivering sensation in her toes, quickly travelled up her milky white legs, through her curvy torso and down her arms until her entire body was as cold as ice. But as soon as the frozen feeling reached the crown of her head, she began to warm through, and she quickly started to melt. Boann could transform into water. Her elders wanted her to control this power. They urged the goddess to raise waves so they could crush enemy fleets and divert rivers to stop flooding or drought. But Boann wasn't the controlling type. "I believe rivers should chart their own course," she told them, "as I chart mine." Instead, for several hundred years, Boann explored the world in her water form. But one day the elders called her home as they were in desperate need of help. They had discovered an evil well in the outer world land of promise. Many gods had been drawn to it by a magical thirst. But as soon as they peered into the depths, their eyes would explode. It happened so quickly, no one understood how a well could do such damage. Boann agreed to help, but warned she would only come home for a few days at most. The goddess returned to the land of promise, and in her female form bravely faced the well. It was a dank, decaying watering hole, half hidden by wizened hazel trees that closed in around it like a dark cave. It smelled like rotting meat. Ugh. No animals scurried into this creepy corner of the realm, and no birds chirped overhead. As Boann considered what to do, she suddenly experienced a parching thirst. "My mouth feels so dry," she thought. "I would give anything for one drop of water." The goddess tried to ignore the feeling and focused hard on the job at hand. If she could raise the water out into the land, it might evaporate in the heat of the sun. So, still fighting the awful thirst, the goddess began to walk anti-clockwise around the well to try and harness the evil energy inside. 3 times Boann strode around, but just as she completed the 3rd circle, the water violently burst up out of the well in attack. The force of it ripped out her left eye, leaving nothing but a bloody hole behind. Then it shattered the bone in her right hand. Boann was thrown to the ground, shocked and in terrible pain. These magical wounds will never heal, and the beautiful goddess will always look different now. But she wasn't about to give up. She knew now she couldn't fight the force of this evil water in her female form. So she took an unusual, clever approach. Channeling her power in the way she knew best, she gently melted into liquid and poured down into the well, merging with its evil. It was a terrible sensation, like seeping head first into black, ice-cold emptiness. Boann felt lost in the darkness of the well, shivering and scared. A harsh, hateful voice hissed inside her mind, "You're mine now, foolish girl." Boann felt frightened and defeated. This evil water was too strong. It could swallow her whole. But just as she began to lose herself into darkness, memories of her travels flashed through her mind. She remembered taking the form of the river Euphrates to help create the city of Babylon. As falling rain, she nourished its famous hanging gardens of cedar, cypress and willow. Boann remembered being the river Tiber in Italy, where she witnessed the building of Rome. At a time when criminals were thrown into her dark waters, she remembered gently ferrying their souls into the next life. As the Red Sea, she guided ships into exotic ports, their cargo used to build sand-coloured palaces. The memory served as a reminder. She was the great Irish river goddess. She belonged to no one and would not be confined in this horrible well. "I nourish life," Boann roared. "I build cities and guide great armies. If I am angered, I swallow whole civilizations. I am the force that helps water flow, and you will bow to your goddess." With that, the darkness lifted so she could see again. Summoning all her magical power, she surrounded evil within her water form, dragged it out of the well, and rushed it away from the outer world. Boann and the evil water shot across the air and over the sea, wrestling each other in the shape of a vast, powerful jet of water, until finally they fell back to earth. They landed in Ireland, and then they flowed as a river through the eastern province of Leinster. The well's power weakened, Boann finally fully in control. Boann had removed the evil well water from the outworld as the gods had asked. Now she wanted to return to her travels and get away from this unpleasantness. But the goddess quickly realised it wasn't going to be that easy. Boann knew that as soon as she left the evil water alone, it could find a way to murder the mortals who lived by the river. Only she had the power to stop it. All the bright, beautiful corners of the world flashed before Boann's eyes. There were so many places she still wanted to visit. "Why should I give up my dreams for others?" she argued with herself. "I don't even know these mortals." But as hard as she tried to convince herself to leave, her heart whispered that she must stay. So she made the greatest sacrifice. To the surprise of her elders, she gave up her freedom for the safety of the others and remained in Ireland forever. In honour of her heroism, the mortals renamed the river Boann, now known as the River Boyne. But her adventures weren't over. The goddess baptised many high kings of Ireland in her waters, and when local soldiers fought along her shores in the epic Battle of the Boyne, she drowned invading enemies. Boann also gifted the legendary warrior Fionn McCool with a magic salmon that made him the most knowledgeable man in Ireland. To this very day, the goddess continues to flow through Leinster, bringing wisdom and power to many who swim and fish in her waters. The end. That was the story of Boann. Fun, girls who slay monsters. Till the next one. Bye bye.